everyone who's sleeping. Malahoo, Forte on the road. Raise all hands in the air. Everyone in West Central shouting. West Central shouting. Marlene, get with both. Shouting, Malahoo, Forte with both. To Salem, up to Spring Garden, West Central, saying let's go, let's vote. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Marlene's on the road. Representation, new inspiration, unification. Let's go, let's vote. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Malahoo, Forte on the road. To Salem, up to Spring Garden, West Central, saying let's go, let's vote. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Marlene's on the road. Representation, new inspiration, unification. Let's go, let's vote. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Malahoo, Forte on the road. Malahoo Forte on the road.
All hands in the air.
Everyone West Central shouting. West Central shouting. Marlene,
check. The block is back. All hands in the air.
Everyone West Central shouting. West Central shouting. Malahoo Forte.
Everyone
West Central shouting. West Central shouting. Campbell to Salem up to spring.
Check. Greetings and peace profound. Positive vibrations and positive sound. You think what the song say? Get ready. We're on the road. I greet you well. Seems like we have a bumper crowd this evening, eh? What's up? Beverly, Finley, how you doing? Greetings. Carlton Samuels, greetings, my brother. Sharon Davis, I see you. You know we have a full house tonight, right? And like they always say, the chopping block is back in full effect. Tweet a friend, tell a friend, we're on live. We're live on all platforms, folks. YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook.
Campbell to Salem up to Spring Garden, West Central.
Saying let's go.
Let's vote. Wake up everyone who's sleeping.
Marlene Malahoo Forte,
Marlene
Attorney General, will build the building.
is on the road.
Natalie Nita. Oh, did we say Natalie Nita? Natalie Campbell Rodriguez, she is in the building. Rena Farms in the building.
Let's go. Wake up everyone who's
I see you, Dwight.
sleeping.
So y'all know we have a full house, right?
Malahoo Forte on the road.
Natalie Nita is not in the building. As the big headline says, it's Natalie versus Natalie. But as we know it, it's only one Natalie, right? Natalie Campbell Rodriguez, she's in the building. She's backstage having a glass of wine. Some exotic cheese and crackers. Some exotic fruits as well, right? Annette Grant, I see you. You're in the building. Keisha Walker Goldson, I see you. You're in the building. Angela McKay, you're in the building. Tell a friend, tweet a friend, tell a friend we're live on the block. The block is back. Full effect, in full effect. So we'll be chit-chatting this evening, right? Some beautiful people, some strong leaders. There's something about the Jamaica Labour Party, I have to tell you. They know how to pick leaders, quality leaders. And Natalie Campbell Rodriguez is no exception. North Central St. Catherine. You're lucky, you're fortunate. All right, so let's what? We're not going to waste any time because it's a long evening. We have to change location. So let's bring the beautiful lady forward. Miss Campbell Rodriguez, how are you?
I am good, Chapa John. Thanks for having me.
Awesome, awesome. So, you know, social media has been buzzing for the last week or so because your name has popped up as one of the next member of parliament for North Central St. Catherine. And a lot of persons said to me, you know what, you need to meet this lady. And I mean, I've met a few persons from your constituency who has so much great things to say about you, even in your capacity now as MP caretaker. And I know you're just anxious to hit the ground. So how you been doing? How's life in the north?
Life is good in the north, but Chapa, I hope you'll give me a few seconds before I even begin to just say rest in peace, Shaini, Minister Robinson. Jamaica has lost. The Jamaica Labour Party has lost. As a female politician, I have lost because this is one of the kindest souls that and could ever have had to interact with in life. So I just wanted to take a minute to say, may her soul rest in peace and may her memory live through the good works that she has done all this time. Thank you for allowing me to do that. Good night to your viewers, your listeners. Things are going along in the constituency. As you know, Chapa, it is one of these constituencies that is hard. The Jamaica Labour Party lost the seat in the last general election by 1,300 votes. We have a lot of work to do, but it's not impossible. It's some of the sweetest, nicest people you'll ever meet in Jamaica are from this constituency, whether it be Sligoville, Above Rocks, Bog Walk, Angels. This is a great, great, great set of people, both Labourites, PNPs, and No Views. So things are going well, doing what we can on the ground, ensuring people understand what representation should look like. That's the focus right now, to let people know what representation should look like and what they should expect when Natalie Campbell Rodriguez wins the seat.
Absolutely. I gather that this is not your first rodeo as it relates to not necessarily representational politics, but being exposed to dealing with people and managing people and looking out for people. Not your first rodeo.
No. I mean, let us start from the beginning. When I left university, I taught. My mother was a teacher, a principal, and so I felt I had to give back. So I taught for 2 years. Then I went to the SDC. I went to the Administrator General's Department. And then I became Jamaica's Director of Youth for several years. Before I went into representational politics, I actually ran a council seat and won the Westchester Division years ago. Served my time there. And so, yes, all I've ever done in my life is work.
Yes. Are you hearing me? Ms. Rodriguez, are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you clearly.
When you just mentioned earlier that you ran a council seat and you won, is that correct?
Yes.
Awesome.
That's correct. Westchester Division in Portmore. Well, let me tell you, I was part of that team that formed the first cadre of councillors for the Portmore municipality. Really proud time for us. We were breaking new grounds and it was an amazing time during that. I ran once, then I, stepped back to raise the children, and I'm back again.
So you're absolutely no stranger when it comes to winning, and that's a plus, because you're going into this understanding what it needs and what the work is, because this is not an easy task, taking up a seat that has been logging for years.
I mean, people have asked me if I'm crazy and why did you choose such a seat? There are many variations to the question. The question ranges from, why did you choose this seat, Natalie?
Yes.
Or, why the party not love you to give you that seat, Natalie? Well, let me tell you, it was the same thing when I ran the Westchester Division,
yes,
where the Jamaica Labour Party had not won that division since the 80s, and we took it home. This is a much bigger feat, but we are ready for it. It's going to be very difficult. My opponent is a strong politician. So, you know, I am really, really working hard with the people in the constituency to do the best that we can do, which is to win the seat for the Jamaica Labour Party, and for especially for the people who live there and want better roads, want constant water supply, want to know what happened to the money that we get, that the politicians, the MPs get for the CDF, through the CDF.
That is that has been run by the PNP for decades.
Yes.
And one of the questions, and you're in a parish council, and when I say parish council, that entire St. Catherine area is predominantly the People's National Party, is predominantly the MPs in that area, because they control the municipal council as well. Now,
Yes.
sometimes you wonder, I know you must have been asked this question several times. What are some of your key plans, or what are some of the major concerns that you find in these constituencies? Because it's a little bit unique. Some of it is rural, most of it is sort of urban.
Right. It is a unique constituency. Can I tell you though, water is one of the biggest problems. Every section, every division, we have 4 divisions, and
Yes.
there's not one division that has steady water supply. And it's not just a matter of whether or not NWC is providing water through the pipes.
Yes.
It is also about the fact that the infrastructure doesn't. And I'm not sure how one party can have controlled the seat since the 80s. So we're talking about over 30 years, over 3 decades of the same party controlling the seat. And you still have sections. I met a man last week up in Gibraltar. He's
Yes.
34 years old and he has never seen water run through his pipe.
Wow.
Never.
Wow.
That is an embarrassment.
It is
That should never happen.
not in. As a matter of fact, geographically, you're located where there's water. There's water in that area, as in there's rivers and streams there, and wells and springs.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, but you see, I think what happens to some politicians, and I pray to God I never become one of those persons, because you know the people have traditionally voted for you, you don't feel pressured to deliver for the people.
Take them for
And
granted.
when as a politician, a member, excuse me?
They take them for granted.
Yeah, they do, and that's wrong. You know, and that is why I'm running on the slogan, other than the real Natalie, because you know there are 2 of us. So
Yes.
to differentiate, I'm the real Natalie. But outside of that, I am campaigning on the idea of dignity for all.
Yes. Yes.
Because if you think of dignity for your people, you won't leave them like that. You will never do that.
And I'm
It
happy
is
you say
wrong.
that,
It is
Ms. Rodriguez. I'm happy you say that, because last week we had Tova Hamilton here, and she had an issue in her constituency where water was being distributed to persons without running water, but they were being given water based on their political affiliation.
We have the same situation. I had to call NWC last week to report a situation, because what has happened is, first of all, no political representative is supposed to sit on a water truck sent by the National Water Commission.
Right.
And a water truck was delivering water to a particular community. And what happened is a representative from the other party decided to go into the truck, was allowed to do so. And then they said, you know, when certain people came out on the road, they said, you can't get any water today because you never vote for our MP. Now, water is a basic right, a basic need. And this is part of the reason I've chosen a seat like this.
Yes.
People should not be taken for granted. And because you always win, don't give you the right to have complete disregard for people. And a basic right is water. We're not even going to the fact that there are some areas in the constituency where there's zero internet. No internet at all. There are areas when there aren't any light posts for electricity. Basic electricity. The people are willing to pay for it, but it's not available.
Have internet connectivity in 2020.
2020.
Yes. That's an indictment on the leadership.
Absolute indictment. And you can't say this is not a seat where every election, it changes party.
Right.
It consistently has the same representative for an extended period of time. So what you don't get to do your first term, you can do your second term or your third term.
Correct.
So we have no excuse for this at all. You have some areas. If you go into the Angels division, people know this area as Crescent in Spanish Town. And you go in there and you go to areas like Strathmore, and you see the craters that people have to drive through. It makes no sense.
But
Absolutely.
the MP gets an allocation. The MP gets an allocation to take care of these needs.
All members of parliament get an allocation, and I can't speak to this MP and what happens with the allocation. But what I can say is when I become the member of parliament, people will know what happens to the allocation.
Right. So your approach is going to be totally different from what we're seeing now.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Natalie Rodriguez, you stand by for a second. Let's pay some bills because you know we have to pay the bills, you know. So give us a quick second. We're coming right back. Stand by, folks.
All right.
So you hear about the one ID thing there?
Yeah, dog, but I'm not too sure about that, you know. Because I'm not getting no DNA that too personal.
DNA? Foolish that man, nothing no go so.
But are you so sure about that?
Check it out myself. You don't need no DNA and no bank information to deal with it.
Well, I'm going to check out that for myself.
Real thing, man. Now when they want to go look alone and you have your ID, the bank deal with the thing little quicker, you see it.
That sounds good. One ID, tell me more.
Secure your future and know your facts. Go to www.nidsfacts.com.
National identification coming soon.
One bag of gold medal pan me now. Champion boy, you know the damn thing.
Liberals, make no mistake about it. It is us who must save this country. We have a duty to ourselves. We have a duty to our children. We have a duty to our brothers and sisters. We have a duty to the elderly to save this country from poverty. Austerity can take you so far. It is time for a break. It is time for a stimulus to truly get this economy moving. And we must take the message of Audley Shaw. We must take the message of Andrew Holness to the Jamaican people and tell them that better is coming. Tell them that prosperity is near. Tell them that the PNP is gone, gone, gone. Labour rights, wanna look good in halfway through this evening.
That's memories of 2016, and I'm quite certain that you were very much aware and up and running back then.
Well, I wasn't here actually for the last election, sadly. But can I tell you, even just sitting here listening to the jingles and listening to everything, my blood is just pulsating. And that is one of the sad things right now, is that we can't gather like that as Labourites in one place. It is an amazing feeling when you're out there on the ground with people who you're trying to represent and to help to have a better life.
Well, you know, one of the things I admire with the new crop of caretakers coming in is that you're getting people who are not self-centered. It's not about them. It's about the people. And I'm very, very impressed when you hear that. You hear people are coming in, understanding the needs, assessing the needs of people, and coming in with that level of representation. That's a great feeling.
You know, let me tell you something. If I'm almost 45, my birthday is in a few days. If at this point I'm going to make it about me, that means I'm not aging well. All right, Chopper, it has to be about the people I'm trying to represent. Yes. That is the reality of, you know. If at this stage in my life, this is what I need to feel good about myself, something is wrong. Something is wrong, absolutely wrong. So it has to be about the people who I'm trying to represent.
As it relates to organization and readiness, because as you and I know, at some point, whether we like it or not, we will have to go to the polls. What would you say if the Honorable Brogard were to say, Miss Natalie Campbell Rodriguez, are you ready? Let's do it.
To be honest, I am not sure if he calls the election next month, 6 months from now, or a year. I will ever say to you, I am 100% ready. Because when you're in a seat like mine, you put the structures in place, you put the systems in place, but you can never tell. But one thing I know, I'm giving it all that I've got. And the workers that we have in that constituency, they are ready. You know, just today I was on the phone with one of them and they said, listen to me, real Natalie. This election, I am not going home to cry. I've lived in this constituency for 30 odd years, and every time I go home and cry, I am not crying, Mrs. Rodriguez. And guess what? I am carrying that on my back because they're counting on me to make a difference this time. They're counting on me to make them know what victory feels like in North Central St. Catherine.
Well, that's not too much of a heavy burden, might I say to you, because I honestly believe based on what we're picking up on the ground and based on the type of organization and skill set that you bring to the table, it is obvious that those tears will not come this time.
Gonna give it my best, Chopper. Giving it my best. And you know, listen, if you have people out there listening to you right now who are laborers and they want to come and help me, we welcome the help, because we need to flood North Central St. Catherine with laborites, with people clad in their greens, and make them understand this seat belongs to Jamaica more than anything else. Yes. Not to a political party, but to Jamaica. And the people of North Central St. Catherine deserve the absolute best. And that's what they'll get with me.
You that you have approximately 300 persons watching you live, and by tomorrow morning you should be about 10,000, and most of which I believe is from your area, because they're looking out to see what it is. Now, we cannot gather in big crowds and have mass meetings, so this is where we choose to meet on social media, and most of these persons come out and they want to hear from you what it is that, you know, they need to go to the poll. Why should they go to the poll and vote for Natalie Campbell Rodriguez? And I'm going to give you a chance to sell it because they're listening.
Let me just say this to you too. Remind them to vote beside the bell, because you see the two Natalie, they could be confusing. So first of all, put the X beside the bell. Look for that bell.
I think we're losing your mic a little bit. So you might want to repeat that because we lost your mic for a moment there.
Right. What I'm saying is, first of all, I just want to remind the voters from North Central St. Catherine, look for the bell. Put the X beside the bell, because with the two Natalies, it could get confusing. So let us not worry about the name and just look for that bell on the ballot paper. But why vote for me? Because I have the interests of the people at heart. And if you have been doing the same thing for over 30 years and still have the conditions you have, I think it's time to give someone else a chance, another entity a chance. So that's it on the local level, but nationally also, I think we can all agree that the Honorable Brogard is doing a fantastic job with the team he has in place right now in cabinet. And we want to continue that. We want to continue. We want to see Jamaica flourish and to see Jamaica grow. So elect me to be a part of that team, but also because I am committing to giving the people of North Central St. Catherine the representation that they deserve, the representation that they need. Roads, water, just my presence. I'm here to listen and to learn and to be a part of the family that makes up the different communities in this constituency. So that's part of the main reasons to vote for me. That's where it is. And those of you who are watching and listening and know me, know that when I set out to do something, it's going to get done. It's not just a lot of lip service. And the people who are represented in Westchester, I can say without doubt, they would agree with me that I am there. I was there with them, and they knew what happened to the funds that came in from Parish Council, and they saw the work that was done time and time again. And that's the commitment I'm giving to the people of North Central St. Catherine.
Well, there you have it. You're getting somebody with a high level of accountability, dedication, and wants to represent people. You don't find that dime a dozen on the streets of Kingston or anywhere in Jamaica, for that matter. So when you find somebody with what you're bringing, Miss Natalie Rodriguez, it's just awesome. I want to thank you for joining us. I want us to do this again, where we can you know, be in a even. A matter of fact, I want to come into your area and walk with you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Anytime you're ready, Chopper, just come on over. As I tell you now, some of the nicest Jamaicans live in my constituency, so they'll be happy to have you. I'm sure quite a few of them who are watching now are saying, yes, man, yes, let's come and do your show in our constituency. We would be happy to have you. And thank you so much for having me on tonight. Because when you have me on, you have the people that I'm looking to represent here, right here with you. So thanks so much.
Thank you so much for coming too, because we really, want to make sure that persons like yourself who are new candidates get a chance to showcase and to explain to your people, because like I said, we don't have the traditional way of campaigning anymore. Well, at least for now. So we have to make do with what we have. Miss Natalie, the real Natalie, big up yourself.
Thank you so much, Chopper.
Yeah, man, the Chopping Block endorse you 100%. Peace.
Thanks so much. Have a good evening.
You too, my darling. And take care. We'll be in touch.
We'll be in touch. Bye-bye.
All right. That's Natalie Campbell Rodriguez, North Central St. Catherine. And she just killed it. She just knocked it out the park. But let me tell you something. I'm going to play a tune, because you know me already, You know, so when they come to the AG, me not take no prisoners. No prisoners when they come to the AG. So give me a minute. Let me just take a shot of whiskey for this one and come back.
Granville to Salem, up to Spring Garden, West Central, saying let's go, let's vote. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Marlene's on the road. Representation, new inspiration, unification. Let's go, let's vote. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Malahoo, Forte on the road. Marlene, get with all. Raise all hands in the air. Everyone in West Central shouting. West Central shouting. Malahoo, Forte, get with all.
If you're sleeping, wake up, because the AG is on the road. Greetings again, everybody. So it's about that time in the evening when we say, Sheldon, big up yourself. Adore, big up yourself. Debo, we see Mr. Dwight Crawford is in the building. We have a few people backstage. We have Rena Forbes, she's backstage as well. And we have the AG herself, she's backstage. AG, we have a glass of wine for you backstage. We have some crackers and cheese for you backstage. And if you want some salamander gunde, we have it backstage. We're all set up. So, folks, we're not going to waste any time, because we have the team from West Central who will be representing in full force. We have the MP herself, Marlene Malahoo Forte. QC!
Hearing you.
You're not hearing me? That's not good. We have to fix that. Let's see if we can fix that. How about now? No? All right, so we have to fix our AG's mic. We have to fix our AG mic.
I hear you.
All right, you can hear me now? Yeah? No? Nope. All right, so let's fix that and come right back. So, folks, we have our Attorney General. Mic's not working, so we're going to fix that and come right back. Stand by.
Granville to Salem, up to Spring Garden, West Central, saying, let's go, let's vote. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Marlene's on the road. Representation, new inspiration, unification. Let's go, let's vote. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Malahoo, Forte on the road. Raise all hands in the air. Everyone in West Central shouting. West Central shouting. Marlene, get with vote. Raise all hands in the air. Everyone in West Central shouting. West Central shouting. Malahoo, Forte, get with vote. Granville to Salem, up to Spring Garden, West Central, saying, let's go, let's vote. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Marlene's on the road. Representation.
Yes, all right. So we're back. We're trying to fix our AG's mic to make sure the Member of Parliament mic is on. All right. Anything from me now?
Not hearing you clearly. Not hearing you at all.
All right. You might want to pull your earphone out from your system and let's see. Let's see. All right, Mr. Crawford, sir.
Yes.
Are you hearing us loud and clear?
Yes.
Peace. All right.
Make it see the background right as well.
All right. So until we get the AG's microphone sorted out, peace. Ask her to remove it from her system and let's kick it like a ball.
I'm not hearing you.
Let me deal with it.
All right, good.
Let me deal with it.
So, Mr. Crawford, while we have you on, my brother, how are things shaping up down there in West Central?
Wonderful, Chopper. The constituency is good. I've been in the constituency of West Central St. James for a very long time.
Yes.
Been politically running around. I remember in 2002 I was running around as a young guy. I'm still young, Chopper, so don't get me wrong. But I think it's fair to say that the most work, and I'm giving to my MP, the most work that I've seen done here in this constituency, has been done by my Member of Parliament. And I must say too, is she on?
She's on. She's live and well.
I am on. I am no hearing. Good night, everyone. Chop, Chopper John.
Hey, G, how you doing?
I am so pleased to be on, and I was so delighted to hear Natalie. Cannot wait to welcome her to Parliament. What a dynamic woman she is. Oh, my goodness. You know, the people of Jamaica are so blessed. I think for the first time they have a set of women in particular who are just waiting to do the very best for them. And oh man, I'm excited. Jamaica's never looked this good. Politics in Jamaica has never looked this good. I'm excited.
You are doing an awesome job. We have the perfect setting now because we didn't want to put you all the way up top. You know I'm biased. The world knows that I'm biased when it comes to the AG.
I can agree with you on that.
No love lost, but the AG has to be right there beside me. Miss Marlene Malahoo Forte, it's a pleasure to have you on. just by virtue of you being the Attorney General for Jamaica, and you are the Member of Parliament for West Central St. James, a constituency that is not just any old constituency. It's a very diverse and unique group of people to represent. You have people from the higher level, the mid-level, the lower level, and the lower level. So you have to bring a certain level of politicking to exist in such seat. How are things going? I hear you're kicking up some storm on the street.
Let me just say that it's an honor for me to represent the constituency of St. James West Central. And you're right. It requires someone who can relate across the board to all groups, and we have right across. I say that St. James West Central is a miniature Jamaica in terms of who comprises the seat, and it has been an absolute honor, pleasure, teaching, learning moment, just loving the people, just ensuring that government does for them what government should do for them, while enabling them to do for themselves what no one else can do. So here we are. It's been 4+ years, and I have been looking at the commitments I have made to the constituency, commitments made, commitments kept. My style is not one of fanfare, and I know it sometimes has some constituents a little worried, because I will go quietly in the seat and I will do what I have to do, and many are used to the fanfare and an entourage. But I have learned that effective work sometimes require paying focused attention to what needs to be done without distraction, and then getting it done. On top of it, I have been assigned the role of principal legal advisor to the government. It is the only position that requires specialized expertise and training and qualification within the executive branch. And I work across all of government to keep government legal, if I were to put it simply. So when one minister goes to cabinet with his portfolio, I'd say when Minister of Health goes with Ministry of Health work, or finance with finance, or local government. As Attorney General, I bring all of government, because I have to work right across government to clear the decisions being taken. Many don't fully appreciate it, because I work technically behind the scene to ensure that the decisions taken are sound, that they're legally correct, that liability of the government is non-existent or minimized, and also that the decisions are fair, and that the objectives to be achieved can be achieved in the best interest of the people. So a lot of persons don't really know what the Attorney General does, and they think it's, it's the big shot lawyer job. But far be it from it, it's hard and it requires many sleepless nights. So with all of that, I have still been able to go into my constituency. Before COVID, I can say every week, unless I've been abroad on government business, quietly, without fanfare, sometimes with fanfare, getting to understand the lay of the land, getting to understand the people, more importantly, and then in turn, getting government to do what is right by them. And that is what has excited me most. Very challenging. A lot of people think that you get into politics and just like that you can bring results. There are many who have come and have meant well and have not been able to achieve what they have set out to achieve. So for me, it's always about understanding critically which levers need to be shifted and where the decisions need to be taken, who is to be held accountable, and how best to serve the people. And it is extremely gratifying knowing that as I go through the constituency, it is so much better than I found it when I went there at the end of 2015, having been elected into 2016.
I can tell you, I can testify to that, because I've met so many persons, Ms. Forte, that have said to me that the constituency is totally transformed since you've become the Member of Parliament.
Not totally yet. We still have a lot to do, but it has been substantially transformed.
From where they sat, they saw a total transformation in their little niche. And you have to be commended for that. I mean, I've always been one to say, you know, you speak to people from West Central, and one of the things they have said to you is that how proud they are. And they are very showboasting, you know, when they see you on TV as the AG, they tend to say, well, my MP is the AG, not just an MP, but she's the AG. And
do you know what they tell me mostly though? They say, Miss Marlene, when we see you on TV, you know, we think you're a big trapping woman. And then every time we see you, you look like a little girl. And I have to remind them that I am a fully grown woman.
Absolutely. Well, you've reminded them on several occasions when you had to take on some of the bullies. And I know I have Miss Rena Forbes here, one of your constituency divisional caretakers, and Dwight Crawford, which is one of your able right-hand soldier who held it down, you know, especially when you're doing national business. He's always the guy on the floor. And a matter of fact,
so permit me to introduce my team.
Yes.
So Councillor Dwight Crawford of the Spring Garden Division is the vice chairman of the constituency.
There you have
a
it.
Man who loves the people, a good lieutenant, and someone that I feel proudly to have as next year in my management team. Love him lots. You know, he and I come to the politics from different perspectives, but where we coalesce is our love for the people and wanting to ensure that they are well served. So that Spring Garden has seen new representation, dynamic representation, and I'm very pleased to have Dwight, Debo champion Crawford as part of my team. And then when I came to St. James West Central,
she's smiling.
You know, people say, you know, MP, we know that the work that you have to do is not going to keep you in the constituency. Because I remind them, I say the MP is not a member of the constituency. It's a member of parliament. This parliament is in Kingston. The seat of government is in Kingston. And with the best of will, when you have an MP who sits in the executive branch, you're not going to see the MP every day. And if you see me every day walking the constituency, something is wrong, because the decisions that need to be taken are not taken in the constituency. I come to make sure I know firsthand what is happening. So what is important is to have a team on the ground. And when you see them, you know they're seeing me. And this is now where Miss Rena comes in. Rena worked with me in the 2016 election. And she was a nervous one. She had a cluster of polling divisions and polling stations. And it was the first time in the history we had won them. And I still have her picture on election day with her hand held up. We won the PDs. But, you know, and I said to her, Rena, I think you would make a good councillor. She was a little hesitant at first. I said, try it out, man, because, you know, I'm right behind you to back you. Let me tell you something. This girl take to the politics like fish take to water. And the people, and she's on the ground. I watch Rena with amazement. And many times, you know, they call her Miss Forte because it's the Forte and Forbes. And because of our racial mix, you know, they tend to mix us up. Look, you see her, it's as good as seeing me. I am so proud of her. And when I tell you, no, she is going to take it to them in the Mount Salem division. So, Rena Forbes, next councillor of the Mount Salem division of the St. James West Central constituency. Over to you, Chopper. You see, you could give me the work.
Rena, it doesn't get any better than that. I have seen your work. And while your MP sold you hook, line, and sinker, I can tell you I've seen your work, and I know that the people of Mount Salem Division will have no regrets when they elect you their next councillor.
Thank you so much.
How is life in your division?
Life is good. Life is good. We're putting in the work, and hopefully on that day, we will become victors of the division of Mount Salem.
The division has a lot of challenges. What are some of the main challenges? What are some of the things that persons come up to you and tell that, boy, this is what you need to take care of for me. You know, everybody always want you to do something for them, but what are some of the main challenges? Roads, water, housing?
Well, the roads are taken care of by the Member of Parliament mostly, you know, as in the Mount Salem division. But we have other areas in the division, in the Irwin Belt, which we have some roads in a state of disrepair, which the current councillor needs to take care of. Persons will complain about the overhanging trees and cleaning of the storm drains and, you know, the general infrastructure that would help, you know, the place to be aesthetically pleasing to the eyes. Sometimes they have garbage disposal problems, and, you know, we liaise with the state agencies to have these things actioned as soon as they come to our attention.
Right, because I've seen you in the constituency division moving about, and sometimes I tend to believe, honestly, that you are actually the councillor because you are more visible than the other folks who were elected. And that brings me to another point that I want to raise with you, AG, and with Mr. Crawford as well. It's a perfect group of people to raise this conversation with, because recently, AG, as you might have known, in the St. James Municipal Council, 2 councillors were expelled because they failed to show up for 3 or more consecutive meetings. And I know Ms. Forbes and Dwight would be closer to what was happening on the ground there. So it tells you that, and I think it sends a message also to Ms. Forbes, that you're coming into a situation where if you are elected to represent people, you have to show up for work.
It is very important to attend these meetings to make representation on behalf of the persons who elected you to serve. You know, so a point of order was raised by Councillor Charles Sinclair as it relates to the councillors who had missed 3 consecutive meetings. And as such, they would not be able to take care of the matters, you know, that they are of concern to their constituents, and, you know, to take to the corporation in a timely manner the challenges that are faced, and especially in a time like this with COVID-19. You know, it's so sad that that has happened, because now more than ever, your constituents need to be served.
Right. Madam AG, what say you on that matter? How it appears to you?
I think it's unfortunate. The councillors in question are cognizant of the rules. I don't think it's the rules have been activated. Whatever their reasons were, it's unfortunate that the municipal corporation was formed. We know these are challenging times. You know, we have to face the consequences. We just have to be prepared to face the consequences of our actions and our failure to act. Unfortunate, I would say, putting partisan politics aside, it's unfortunate, but it's also a reflection of the dynamics within the St. James Municipal Corporation. People expect that, rightly expect that those who are elected to serve must serve diligently, and so they just have to face the consequences. I note that I have heard a news report that they will be contesting the action taken by the municipal corporation. So I'm watching it for more reasons than one. But I say, gone are the days when you can just take the people for granted. It's the work that elected representatives do is critical interface between people and the machinery of government, local government and the central government. And there is a lot that local government is responsible for. Community development. In fact, it is a Ministry of Local Government and Community Development. And as I go across St. James West Central, Councillor Crawford, who the division that he has inherited, that he's now elected in, we will go in quietly and we will speak to the people. And when you see the extent of the neglect, people underestimate the critical work that local government does, you know. You know, the community roads, Rena spoke about the Irwin Belt. It is nothing short of disgrace that the Mount Salem division has entrusted its representation to persons from the other party who have just taken the people's representation for granted, taken their vote for granted. What I saw when I went to St. James West Central, you know, it moved me in a way that was almost indescribable. Because when people can't walk out of their gate, or if they're going to work and they have to wear one shoes and then change the next because of the dust, and if it rain, the water that they have to go into, just utter neglect. And it is not all about the money. It's about showing up and taking responsibility for the work. The agencies of the state for a long time grew lazy and almost not knowing what it is like to discharge the responsibilities to the people. And so we've had our hands full. I am, you know, I take a very strict view on ensuring that government at all levels delivers to the people, because there is very little that you can do without the involvement of government. But I also feel strongly about people doing for themselves what nobody else can do, and therefore become enabled. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but they must understand that you can't take the vote for people and then don't show up. Don't show up at a time when people need an interface between themselves, their communities, and government. Councillor Crawford can say a little bit more, because I believe he was in the chambers when the resolution was taken.
Councillor Crawford?
Yes, Chopper. Good evening, guys. Well, firstly, Madam AG, next to be councillor, I just have to say that Chopper, they are a lot prettier in person than they are via this medium. So I can only say to those who don't have that opportunity, they eat your heart. So they're beautiful persons, wonderful personalities, and very soothing to the eyes, you know. And I would never change or swap these two beauty queens for any man.
You hear how him smote sweet?
I would never trade these two beauty queens, my MP and my next to be councillor, for any man. I'm happy to be here, and it's a pleasure to be within the midst of them both, Chopper. It's a pleasure. But the question that you asked earlier, Chopper, when you are engaged in a sport, Chopper, you first need to understand the rules of the sport, right?
Yes.
And there is a local government. What is it called, Marlene? The local government.
The Local Governance Act.
The Local Governance Act. Right. Yes. So, Chopper, if you're going to play tennis, you must understand the rules of the game.
Yes.
And I would imagine that if somebody has been playing the sport for such a long time, as long as these two gentlemen have been, they would understand. It was amended in 2016, Madam AG, by the PNP administration. From a
new law came into place
by the PNP, yes, from 6 months to 3 months. Because, Chopper, I think it is only reasonable to say, if you don't go to work for 3 months without telling your boss, I'm not feeling well, or sending a message to say, I won't be in today, I think it is only reasonable to assume that you're not so interested in the job.
You abandon your job. In any civilized operation, you would abandon your job.
And then what they become accustomed to, Chopper, is being in control, or having connections, and also being able to play on the conscience of people. And I remember during the meeting, I know Councillor Reed is my friend and Benty are my friend, but there comes a point where you have to stand for something. You have to be willing to stand for the right thing. And as much as I respect them, and it hurt my heart to hear that they have to go, the law is the law. The law is the law. And if we don't act this way, we're encouraging corruption, which is the root cause of all of the problems that we're having in Jamaica.
Absolutely.
Right? The law is the law. Chopper, I am a brethren, but don't do it. Do not do it if it is wrong. If it is against the law, do not do it. And what I found was happening was they were trying to play on the conscience of the people to say, boy, him say him have sugar, or boy, him say him have this. I understand that. I have illnesses. I have illnesses, Chopper. But with all due respect, when I have to be absent from a meeting to represent the people that I've been elected to represent, I have to tell the CEO and the boss, the mayor, sir, I'm unavailable to come. So nobody is saying that they had to be there. All we're saying is respectfully tell your boss that hired you, which is the rules are being right.
Yeah.
Boss, I can't make it to work. So if you're sick, fine, no problem. Stay away for 3 months, but let us know that you're having an issue. It is utter disrespect to the people that were elected by.
As the AG said, it's unfortunate because nobody wants anybody to be kicked out of their position of representation. But the truth is, if you're not doing what you're elected to do, then it is what it is.
Because let me just say, while I understand the point that was being made by their side, it's not a situation where it needs to be made clear. This is not something that required a vote, a majority vote. It is what Moe referred to it as, Madam AG, statute. And statute.
Is there any legal arguments?
It's not something that the mayor and the 13 councils that sit on the GLP side can say, yea or nay. That is not even necessary. The CEO himself could have sat in his office and made such a decision because it is in the law.
Yes, it was clear cut.
Here is what I say, Chopper. So they know they have faced the music. Perhaps it's an early indication of what is to come in those two divisions. so here make we talk some serious West Central business because let's talk some West Central business.
Right, because I'm happy
my team.
Because I wanted to talk to you about, go into West Central as you rightly say. Because any moment now, I know you're a part of the executive, and I know from time to time you're sitting close, and I know you clean your ears very well, AG. And I know you probably pick up a little something somewhere.
Do you know though? One of the most important criteria for being Attorney General is that you must be able to keep confidences, right? So although I work behind the Prime Minister, when all the ministers get up to make their announcement, invariably the Attorney General has done.
You know, so paper drop with one date on it.
Well, let me be upfront. That yes, I will know by virtue of the position I hold because there are legal considerations. The Representation of the People's Act has a number of rules, and the Prime Minister has to ensure that all of the rules are being observed faithfully, and he has to take legal advice. So yes, as Attorney General, when the time comes, I will know. But when the time comes, believe me, the Prime Minister will let everybody else know too. And we are in the cycle where now the Parliament will automatically dissolve on the 5th anniversary of its sitting, it sat on May 10, I believe, 2016, after the May 25 general election. So if it is not dissolved sooner, if the election is not called sooner, it will automatically dissolve on that 5th anniversary. And then the election will have to be held within 3 months of that date. But it's rare that we go to a full cycle. I think the entire country is looking forward to re-electing Prime Minister Holness and the team, settling government down. Perhaps if the COVID had not interceded, the Prime Minister would have taken us down that path, because we have to settle down. The government has done extremely well under the leadership of Prime Minister Holness, and I'm very happy to be part of his team, right there behind him, right there beside him, ensuring that the decisions taken are in the best interest of the people of Jamaica. As a matter of fact, many times when I go to my constituency and I see issues, and we come back to the decision-making table, I will say, PM, here are the matters that are confronting young people. So when we went on the training, the additional training under the National Youth Corps, the name escapes me right now, that I sat down with the Chief of Defense Staff and work out of that program, change the law when everybody said it couldn't change, put it in. the National Service Corps for young people excellently. Some persons from my constituency, the additional training through the HEART program, the HOPE program, the housing program. Every decision that has been taken, that has been announced, this Member of Parliament, Attorney General, has been right there ensuring that the issues of my constituency are represented at the table. And when the programs are rolled out and when the programs are being written, they reflect the needs. I remember having come to St. James, and when I look at, you know, just the level of criminality and gun running, I hear parents tell me that children can't study, they can't sleep at nights because the guns are barking. And I walked into Mount Salem when they did the assessment, and along with, I think, 18 other communities, they showed the worst sign of criminality and community degradation. And I wrote the ZOSO law, Zone of Special Operation. And I remember how we were criticized by the councillor and criticized by everyone. I was personally attacked. They said I brought ZOSO to St. James because Mount Salem was the epicenter of PNP strength. And today I go there and everybody's saying, my God, never before have they seen that kind of transformation. Last week, my next councillor, Rena Forbes, and I were going through, and everybody was saying to me, let me tell you, never before they have seen the roads taken care of, the waterways, the drainage done, people served on a personal level, those who needed birth certificates, those who needed TRN, just getting them to relate to government, just getting them to be served by government. And in the parliament, I remember a member of the opposition team saying to me, but you know, you just come, how you get so many things done on behalf of your people? Me in MP for 3-4 terms. One said he was a 5-term MP and never get anything done. I said, go do your work. Because I have come here on a mission for the people of St. James West Central. Many of them don't understand the work I do behind the scene because I'm not the one who make the announcements. You know, I will come and work and the other ministers make the announcements. But I feel proudly to be part of this administration led by Prime Minister Holness, where we have been delivering to the people. His relatability, you know, just ensuring that government does right by the people, ensuring that we have a good crop of representatives at both local government and central government. And my little team that I'm working with, proud of them. And I tell you, St. James West Central is going to come in big again. And the people are going to see a continuation of what has taken place in this term. I take the work of representing them seriously. And I know my team of council and councillor caretaker, they do also. Mind you, you know, some people not so easy to represent, right? And when they put the issues to you, they would want you to give the eyeball and you will give everything. And one time you say, hold on, somebody else needs to get. You hear you're the worst person, but I love them anyway. And I know they will quarrel, but the love is still there because we are here. I am here to lead a team that is going to work in their best interest. I don't impose my priorities on them. I take time to hear what it is that is important to them. And then I go back to the rest of government to ensure that those decisions are taken.
Well, I can tell you, I don't know if anybody's typing. There's a little background noise coming through.
I am hearing it too, as if it's typing.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Rena or somebody's background. It's not mine. Don't know. Well, anyhow, somebody's including on our conversation here. But most of the persons who complain, you know, because I can tell you that there have been concerns, and you will hear it on the street.
Of course.
Do not seen the AG, but I don't believe persons are saying that because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. I think they just miss you. They love you. Those they love you.
I tell you. It's one of those things, and I'm very grateful for the kind understanding of those who will say, we want to see you a little more. But the truth is that I am there more than they think.
Yes.
And I have to say to them, when I run into some communities and they say, Lord, miss, I said, but guess what? I can't be in two places at the same time. And if you weren't here present, you would say, you don't see me. So it's so it go. But here is also the good thing that has happened. I said to myself when I came to St. James West Central, I want to make it a model constituency. And among the things I'd like to see is a decent place where people can come and meet with their elected representative.
Yes.
And I set out with a task of putting in an office campus, right? Yes. And when I remember telling Councillor Crawford my vision, and he was like, yeah, MP. Fess up, Councillor, fess up. He never thought it was possible. I took him to the premises and I said, take a good look. Mind you, it was covered in bushes. I said, this place is where everybody can get to. Because it's important to me that from every nook and cranny in the constituency, they can reach there with ease. And if they get drive for part of the way and they have to walk part of the way, they can get there. So I took the councillor and I said, councillor, take a look. Fess up, councillor, and tell Chopper what your initial reaction was.
Because it is his pride and joy now, can I tell you? It is his pride and joy now. He love it.
But that's where he is, with the Prime Minister in the background there. He's sitting right there.
Let me change the picture.
Shift over so they can see.
Let me change the picture. I'll fix the picture.
No, but I say that to say.
Guys,
I say that to say.
MP, we have a little bit of disturbance in the background. Let us just take a breather, drink a glass of wine, and come right back. 10 seconds.
Okay.
Granville to Salem, up to Spring Garden, West Central, saying, let's go, let's vote. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Marlene's on the road. Representation, new inspiration, unification. Let's go, let's vote. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Malahoo, Forte on the road. Raise all hands in the air. Everyone in West Central shouting. West Central shouting. Marlene, get with vote.
AG, you were on the topic of that beautiful campus. That
is here's what I want to say to my constituents. Yes. When I set a goal, I will work to achieving the goal. I have worked hard in my personal life and I have accomplished much at an early age. And the same approach that I have taken towards myself is the same approach I'm taking in relation to their business. So watch and see. I mean, know that I'm taking stock of what I've been able to accomplish through positive and real representation on behalf of the people in the communities. When I went into a community like Guava Walk, 45 years, no road. I remember Councillor Crawford and I went in and someone was shot in broad daylight. No emergency vehicle could reach. Go back and see. I had staked my representation on that community. You go up to Bogue Hilltop, you go across the communities. Now we're dealing with the Tucker Main Road. And I tell you, look, I got some gray here, just navigating government to get what? No, seriously, to get the proper assessment, the correct engineering standard, to ensure that at the end of the day, the infrastructure put in is in keeping with the goal that we have set to achieve first world status. St. James has never looked this good.
But that Tucker Main Road, that Tucker Main Road, when the construction gets started on there, it was celebration throughout the entire Montego Bay. Can I tell you?
And But I tell you something, we had some delays and people, the doubt, because when people are not used to seeing results, and I tell them it's coming in two phases. I remember telling Prime Minister Holness there is absolutely no way I am accepting any substandard work. So it must be properly assessed. We must get full allocation of what is required. It carries the heaviest trucks on the road. The volume of traffic, I think, is the second heaviest used road in that part, in that belt. And I know the people are happy. I know they doubted for a long time, but they're seeing it. And it's the same that happens. There is not one commitment I have made to the people that I have not worked to deliver. I don't make empty promise. If it can't be done, it can't be done. I tell them we go through a process. So even when I succeed in making the representation, there is still a process that we have to go through. And I watch like hawk, because there's a part of government, that's inept and lazy and incompetent. And I am not having it for the people that I represent. And they know that. I haul them up. I will ask the Prime Minister to haul them up too, right? It's not just about me. My standards are unapologetically high, and I set the same for my constituents.
And you can see it, you're getting the result. One of the biggest complaints I've heard, I know me is the guy on the street who picks up, me listen to the conversation. One of the things you pick up on the street, but the hardest hit that person, because they call me a Marlene guy, because I defend Marlene all the time. Irrespective, all of them don't know me, I defend him. But one of the arguments that came out, arguments that came out, why it took, not took so long, but why isn't he having a constituency? I said the constituency office is coming. No, at least 5 or 6 persons who were very, very strident, they were very vocal as it relates to constituency office and why was there none. They are the happiest persons inside this constituency right now. They are persons. I gave one of them a ride recently, and when they got to the constituency office, they were all smiles and pointing. They look over there.
but I understand the frustration. The truth is that there are a lot of people who have not experienced credibility.
Yes.
Credibility in politics. We have a lot of examples of promises being made and promises not being kept and broken. But I think what people need to understand is that there is a process, and it takes money. And we can't use government money for party purpose. So it's the Jamaica Labour Party constituency office, and not 1 cent of state money was used in it. So the money has to be raised to do it. And we had to go through a process. I had to go through a process of approval. There was no shortcutting of it. I also had to go through a parliamentary process, an ethics process, an integrity process as I established the office. It took me a long time to find somewhere, because there are a lot of places available, but not many in St. James West Central, because downtown Montego Bay is not. So I had a constituency office when I went there. The lease came to an end, and there were some issues with the landlord. We parted company, and I would rather leave it there.
Right.
And I tried many who criticized for a long time. When I said to them, all right, tell you what, since you probably think that I haven't been looking, help me. Many of you are more familiar with St. James than I am. And when they started looking and couldn't find anything, they said, aha, that is how they became silent. And I said, we will get a constituency office, and we will get something that is befitting, where everyone can be comfortable. Everyone without exception can be comfortable to meet with me and meet with the team in my absence. And, quietly, the process went. Many doubted, even some of my own colleagues at the ministerial level thought, really, you think you can get that done given the time frame? And I say yes. And I just said to people, don't underestimate what I can do and what I will do on your behalf. Because that office is not about me. It's a place for the people.
I learned that quite a while back, because I'm a matter of fact, even recently, because that education is still ongoing. Because I can't leave, you know, Edgy, without asking. Because last week or week before, you had an encounter in Parliament where you had to what my friends call dress up a guy properly who went out of line. I wish I had the clip here to play, but you had to dress him up properly, and you looked at him nicely and said, "Look, I will not have it. I'm tired of your constant disrespect in this house." Mr. Speaker, speak to this guy. You remember that? You remember that conversation?
You know, let me tell you, there's a little group who would want to paint me and other women as incompetent. They think we only come to politics with a little pretty face and we must be pretty dunces, and it doesn't matter what we bring. But that particular member, his rudeness knows no end. And what he does, he will say things which calls into question the competence and soundness of the decision. And when he is being rebutted in law, he has no response. So what he does is try to distract. And anytime you see the distraction starts, they do not want the matters to go on the record, right? And they think that they're the only one with sense, because for a long time, you know, that party in opposition believed that what's good for them is what's good for Jamaica, and nobody else brings anything. And they are just cringing because of the team that the Jamaica Labour Party has in government. We will make mistakes, but we will correct them and we will go forward because we're committed to do what is right by the people. We're not full of ourselves, but we're not fools either.
Absolutely.
So I just had it with the disrespect and the nonsense. You know, I'm not going to roll out the blessings that the good Lord has bestowed on me education-wise. But some of the schools that I go to, you have to be top of your class in order to get in. But guess what? There are a lot of people who didn't even get a chance to go to school, and go not because of lack of ability, but because of lack of means and circumstances. And we mustn't feel that we're all that and nobody else has sense and nobody else can make a contribution. My goodness, man. So I've just had it, because when I go to Parliament, I go there with serious business for the people of St. James West Central. So what was happening? The minister is trying to clear the legal hurdles in order to get the money to pay out the care packages, the care money for everybody who lose their job as a result of COVID. And these people want to stand in the way and want to make it look like we don't know what we're about. None of that. None of that. As the Minister of Finance say, all your talk about cooperation, show it when it matters. Don't get on with grandstanding. So
well, I like the fact that you did put a stop to that immediately. And
the man have me up long time. Somebody said the man have me up from I was in the Senate, you know? Because
yes, there's a guy on Facebook. There's a guy who wrote something on Facebook recently, and I have to mention it. I think his name is Alex Higgs. He wrote something to that effect where he said, in very graphic terms, he said, you know, as long as you're carrying belly.
Oh God! But put it this way: it's unfortunate. Sometimes politics brings out the worst, and people lose senses. And I pray to God every day that I will bring the best of what I have in the representation of the people. It can be irrational and ugly at times, and I don't want to be part of that ugliness. There are too many people who are depending on people like me to make a positive difference for them, and that is what I hold in front of me at all times. I said, Lord, help me to do what is right by the people. So me don't really have time to keep up people. So all when them cuss and go on, you cuss and go on about your business, because me don't have room inside of me to hold it up. So the next time I see the man, I heal him anyway. But if you're rude to me, make sure you know that I'm not going to tolerate it. And if you're good, I heal you anyway.
You don't have no problem. You continue to fix them up. Yourself and Kamina Johnson-Smith and the other ladies in the Senate, you just continue to fix them once I come with the nonsense, because as I said earlier, most of these gentlemen believe that they're the ones who hold the keys to knowledge and power in this country. And I think with your stewardship and the others like yourself, it has demonstrated that that is not so.
This is about the people's business. Anybody who full of themselves and think that they are all that and more. I am not going to sit back. Prime Minister Holness and the rest of the team, none of us is sitting back to make anybody get in the way of our doing what's right by the people and making decisions that will help them and improve the circumstances of their life.
Right, right. Now back to Mount Salem division again. We lost Rena there for a second. She's going to come back. But back to Mount Salem again. Mount Salem has been a sore point years ago. It has gotten so much better. And I mean, for Zozo, I think is a contributing factor. It has been calm. The people are out and about. People are enjoying themselves. I saw people in Mount Salem just 2 mornings ago walking, jogging on the streets, which we haven't seen in a long time.
By the way, you know, Rena out there with a crew of joggers. Let her show you the picture of the ladies who join her on her morning exercise. I'm proud of them.
Absolutely. But it's an era that has been transformed since the Zozo. And I think that should take credit for bringing calm to that area.
The transformation is not just in the physical environment, as important as that is, but you should see the transformation in the minds and the attitudes. Man, Rena can tell you because she's on the ground a lot there, proud of the people, and they express it when I go. And this is what makes me feel like it's worth the while. And that is why the journey must continue.
Rena,
that's the slogan, you know. The journey continues.
There you go. Rena, there's about 500 persons watching right now live. And I believe most of these persons are from your division. Because Mount Salem has been touted to be one of the divisions that is coming home nicely. How you feel? We're not hearing her.
I don't know what's happening there.
All right, we're having a little bit of difficulty with Rena's connection, but like she said earlier, her constituency is most definitely, her division rather, is really benefiting from the zones of special operations, AG, and you know, when that came out, I was in the United States when the Zozos started to be introduced, and everybody was skeptic as to how is this going to work. And over time, we realized that this is basically the answer to a lot of our problems. And I've never seen in my lifetime, and I have the sound bites. I might not be able to play them now, but I have the sound bites of people from the other party, AG, who criticized initially when the zones of special operations were introduced, and they criticized you heavily because they believe that you were the person who actually introduced or suggest this mechanism to the government. So you were the one who were criticizing most. But I live some of the very persons who criticized you came back to ask for zones to be implemented in their constituency.
So you know, Prime Minister Holness, I remember there were some times when we were in office till all 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, as we were looking on what to do, because we realized that while the crime problem needed hard policing and security measures, it also needed something more, and that is where the community development side came in. And we don't have the resources to do it all at once. And so we said we would do it zone by zone, and we would set criteria for the definition of the zones. And once they meet them, we will begin its, you know, hold, clear, build strategy. So we go in and we deal with the worst of the security aspects, and we reintroduce the citizen to policing. And in this case, it's a joint force because we bring the army alongside of the police for the peacekeeping, peace building. But it's enabling communities to take ownership of their issues and slowly to put back the face of government in a positive way. And that is why, too, there are so many services we've brought in, the agencies. And I stepped back and I let the JSIF deal with it. As I say to persons, yes, I wrote the law, yes, along with the Prime Minister, developed the policy, and we've implemented it. But I want you to know it's not going to be implemented in a partisan way. We know that it is, I know it is my work, Prime Minister Holness, this is the work of the Jamaica Labour Party administration, and everybody knows it. But I stepped back and I ensured that the agencies of government did their work. And I watched to see how one of the biggest things I faced in St. James West Central is the other side trying to take credit for the work that I've done.
Yes.
Because the truth is, I'm not on the ground because I have to be here in Kingston dealing with the matters as often as people would like. So we have a little councillor in the Granville division who, at the drop of everything, him run up. And every time I go, I say, why you do it? And you think people fool for all the years your party in, you couldn't get anything done. You think you won't get it done under Labour Party government. Come on. But there are also people who don't know. And then even in the Mount Salem division, having freed up a lot of the resources for the councillor, I still don't see him using what he is allocated in the other areas. And it's really sad because the entire Irwin belt, those community roads have been neglected, Westgate Hills, and the man just a run up and down. I've relieved local government of so much of the work. Poor Councillor Crawford sometimes say to me, MP, remember Spring Garden Division need, some of the work, and we have taken on massive work in the Spring Garden Division. But man, I've just never seen such blatant acts of dishonesty, trying to take credit for work that their representation didn't do. But I hope that the people are wise and smart enough, because right now, I have a road that I'm going to do through my CDF. Me see the man announce, say, him do the work. The same road that I am getting done, for which the allocation has been made. Somebody must let off something and tell him. I see him put in the community group, say the road going fix. I said, tell you what, since you have it allocated for fixing, I'm going to pull back my project and see. I'll know not no start. So when I ask for a check, I say, tell me something at the local government level. You don't have any project that is supposed to go on for this road? Not a thing. But in the typical dishonest way, they try to take credit for the work. And local government is assigned its fair share of work. Unfortunately, a lot hasn't been done there. So this one I'm watching to see.
Yes.
But it's about the people and serving them. You see, I don't have that mean streak in me,
Here, I know you. Well, I don't think you're strapped for time, but we don't want to keep you out too late, AG, because we don't have a
very kind of you. I do have a lot of work for cabinet tomorrow too.
I know, but I cannot. Yeah. It would be remiss of me to allow you to leave without asking you about the goodly. You have a goodly doctor who, but you know what? Let me just reason with you on this one, Marlene. Let me break it down. Tell me how on God's green earth you have a doctor, I'm not calling anybody names so them can sue me, that goes to the Senate, and if them sue me, I have the AG to defend me. And all I can bring to the Senate is Jack and Jill went up the hill to catch a pail of water. Huh? That's what they brought to the Senate, That's what you're up against.
Chopper John. Let me focus on what I bring to the people. Any contender coming aside, I can tell you that they will not be able to represent as well as I will represent the people of St. James West Central at this time. I don't engage in dirty politics, and I don't engage in negative politics about my opponent. It is a seat for contest. And so, whatever anybody else is bringing, I can tell you and I can say to the people that I will do better for them. I have begun something and there is so much more to be done, and the journey will continue. The journey will continue. So you know, the people will make their choice.
I
People will
understand.
make their
You
choice.
see, you've set a standard, one of the reasons why I have to ask, because it was also disappointing. I know what the people of West Central, they're looking for quality representative from either side. And they've gotten the best. And at the least the other side could do is to at least send us somebody who at least match up. And I'm not being unkind.
I would ask you never to be unkind, because we can achieve our goals without being unkind to anyone,
I'm
right?
being really, really kind.
I think I got a little message to say that some work is being done by the councillor in the Mount Salem division on the area that the work is to commence, and I'd say, my goodness, at least I'm going to do something for the people in that area. So,
at least
I'm watching to see. So if something is being done, I'd be happy to hear, because Lord knows the people need their justice for these roads.
But AG and the team, you guys have been awesome, man. I mean, it's a pleasure.
I don't hear much from Councillor Crawford. He's a dynamo of a politician, you know.
No, I know.
He's so quiet. He's so quiet.
He's comfy in his office, Look at him.
I just have one thing to say, Chopper John. You've said something earlier with respect to the contender, and I mean, let's not even talk about anything else. I just like to say that I hear the other party saying great things about him. You see, but it's one thing I have to say, Chopper. In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king.
In the land of the blind, Rena, the one-eyed man is king. In the land of the blind. Dwight, it's a pleasure, my friend. I appreciate the connection. Rena, we're gonna have to do this again, though, Rena. At your level, we will have to come back, and you and I will walk. You know where to find us. We cross paths ever so often. So we will have to do this again when we can get a better connection with you, and we can go through some of the intricacies of the Mount Salem division. AG, you have been awesome. You have been great. We appreciate you. We love you. And the people of West Central is grateful, and they should be very happy to having you, the quality leadership, and the team, not just yourself, but the team.
I have one question for you. So how come you've been such a strong defender?
Look, you're coming for Rosiam next week, and I hear Rosiam when
Chopper, may I just say something though?
Yes, sir.
I hear an example being used of Jack and the Beanstalk. From my recollection,
yes,
Jack sold a cow, bought some beans, some magical beans, used his stalk to climb up into the man's place.
Yes.
Thief the man gold, come back down and sell it, so he could prosper. I think that's a very poor example.
Well, look, if you don't want to talk about Jack and the Beanstalk, AG, let's talk about another Jack and Jill.
Well, here is the thing, Chopper John. So Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after.
Oh,
neither of them could be of any assistance to anyone. So if that is the premise.
Madam AG, you've said it. You've said it. You couldn't have said it any better. They couldn't have been any help to anybody.
As we close out, let me just greet all of the people of St. James West Central who are watching. I want you to know that I take your representation seriously. I'm happy to have at the next year Councillor Dwight Crawford and the next councillor of the Mount Salem division, Rena Forbes. Rena will be an excellent addition to the St. James Municipal Corporation. Next, not too long from now, we will expose them to the third member of the divisional troika, and we're here to do well by you. We will do the best we can for you. Understand that if we make a commitment to you, we will work to honor the commitment. And we continue to be here for you. And we look forward to your support. And the journey will continue. We have so much more to accomplish in St. James West Central, and we're on our way to accomplishing them.
I've said it any better, and I know your team echo the same sentiments. Rena, your folks up there in Mount Salem, they're watching. You have the second to last word. And we're still not hearing Rena very well. But like I said, we're gonna come back to Rena. But let's hear from Councillor Crawford.
Oh, I must give you, are these my closing comments, Chopper?
Yeah, you get to hit the ball out of the park.
Well, what can I say, Chopper? What can I say? I am just here smiling and feeling honored to be a part of a team in Malahoo Forte. It took me some time, Chopper, to become accustomed to the way she operates. She's not the seasoned politician as politics is something that takes time to learn. But I've come to learn that she's trying to raise the standard of
politics in general, not just in the country.
Yeah, man. And the truth about it is sometimes it does take time, and I'm being very patient because yes, Malahoo, when you did carry me to this swampland and show me the office, I was looking at my watch, wondering how soon is it before lunch because I feel like a hypocrite sitting in here right now, Chopper. But the one thing that I have to say to those who are gearing themselves up, if you're getting another matcha, prepare to get some lick because we're coming hard. Get ready. It's not if, it's not but, not maybe. It's not a warning. It's not a threat. It's destiny. Marlene Malahoo Forte and her team will be returned to West Central St. James Chapel.
Well,
you have my word on that.
AG, you know in me you have a supporter.
Thank you so much.
Always. And I will be on the ground to do whatever I can from my little vantage point to ensure that the work that you're doing for Jamaica continues. And Jamaica will continue to benefit from your contribution.
Hey, me love my people bad, you know. Love them lots. Love them. Thank you so much.
Thank
you so much for having me.
I think when they're complaining that they're not seeing you, they just love you. They want to see you, they want to feel you. You know, one of my biggest defense of you is, don't worry, you're upset now because you don't see Marlene. As soon as you come down and hug you, you're back in the...
That's true too. In fact, when I hear, some of them talking about the complaints, mind you, understand this, I have never been missing from my constituency. It's just that no matter how much I give, they still want more. And the truth is that because I work a lot behind the scene, I have to do the technical work, but I have been present. I have never been absent from the constituency.
That is true.
Whether the office was in or out, never. And I have kept a diary. So, I am a records person. And when people are telling me I've had more meetings in the constituency than any MP before me, and I say it without fear of contradiction because this is what the people tell me.
Right.
But it doesn't matter how much I give, it's still not enough. They just want a lot more. But let me also commend you for the work that you're doing. The COVID has demanded creative ways of connecting with the people, and we are in the ICT era, and you have used this platform very, very well. I want to thank you for showcasing the team of Labour Party representatives and for just conducting the program in a way that gives everyone an opportunity to meet and meet again their representatives. And I commend you. You really are a good host. I'm impressed, and I'm not easily impressed.
Twice as
yes, and I want to thank Councillor Dwight Crawford of my Spring Garden division for arranging this with you, and for ensuring that while we can't meet up in the same old way, that the people of the constituency can sit in their living room, sit in their bedroom, sit wherever they're sitting, and have an opportunity to hear me and the team interact with them.
Yes.
So enough blessings to everyone. Boy, it's just such an honor and such a privilege to be able to do something for our fellow men.
Yes.
And to make life a little less difficult. It's not problem free, but when we lighten the burden for each other, we can go a little longer. And my commitment is to ensure that government.
We lost the AG there for a little bit. I think her connection might have been lost. But we basically got the gist. Thank you to Rena Forbes. I think she had some bad connection there. We'll fix that and come back. Thank you to Councillor Dwight Crawford. And thank you to the team. We did it again. The Black is back. And of course, we can't leave without playing with new theme song. This is our new theme song, folks.
Granville to Salem, up to Spring Garden, West Central, saying let's go, let's vote. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Marlene's on the road. Representation, new inspiration, unification. Let's go, let's vote. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Malahoo, Forte on the road. Marlene, get with both. All hands in the air. Everyone in West Central shouting. West Central shouting. Malahoo, Forte, get with both. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Marlene's on the road. Representation, new inspiration, unification. Let's go, let's vote. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Malahoo, Forte on the road. Up to Spring Garden, West Central, saying let's go, let's vote. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Marlene's on the road. Representation, new inspiration, unification. Let's go, let's vote. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Malahoo, Forte on the road.
Hey Divo, hey Divo, what this make you feel I do? What this make you feel like do? What this make you feel like do? Yeah.
Now what time to we vote and take over? Vote and take over. Vote and take over. A time to we vote and take over. Vote and take over. Vote and take over.
Them no have a clue. Them no have a clue. Them no have a clue.
We are vote and take over. Vote and take over. Vote and take over.
Granville to Salem up to Spring Garden, West Central saying let's go, let's vote. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Marlene's on the road. Representation, new inspiration, new love vacation. Let's go, let's vote. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Malahoo, Forte on the road. All hands in the air. Everyone in West Central shouting. West Central shouting. Marlene get with all hands in the air. Everyone in West Central shouting. West Central shouting. Malahoo, Forte with Granville to Salem up to Spring Garden, West Central saying let's go, let's vote. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Marlene's on the road. Representation, new inspiration, new love vacation. Let's go, let's vote. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Malahoo, Forte on the road.
Representation,
new inspiration, new love vacation. Let's go, let's vote. Wake up everyone who's sleeping.
So there you have it. Another one in the bag. Another one in the bag. What they say? The chopping block is back in full effect.
All hands in the air.
Natalie, Campbell, Rodriguez. Thank you for stopping by.
Everyone in West Central shouting.
Marlene, Malahoo, Forte.
West Central shouting. Marlene.
Jamaica's Attorney General. West Central St. James representing well. Councillor Dwight Crawford, big up yourself. Rena Farbs, big up yourself.
All hands in the air.
Alicia Archer, big up yourself.
Everyone in West
Pachoy Seal, I see you, big up yourself.
Central shouting. West Central shouting. Malahoo, Forte.
Maurice Price, big up yourself. Michael Cole, the artificial Don, big up yourself. Odian, the statistician Grant, big up yourself. Paul Irvin, big up yourself. I see Rupert Ellis in the building, big up yourself. Kenroy Thomas, big up yourself. Philip Edwards, Wagwan. Natalie McDonald, big up yourself. And make sure y'all go out there and support the real Natalie, right? The real Natalie. We heard there's another Natalie somewhere hanging around, but support the real Natalie, right?
Campbell to Salem,
up to Spring Garden, West Central. Let's go. Shanti Johnson, pick up yourself.
Wake up everyone who's sleeping.
Alex Higgs, I see ya.
Marlene's on the road.
Kizzy Perry, big up yourself. Brenda, I see ya. Gregory Wint, Counselor, chop chop, big up yourself. Tony Beckford, big up yourself.
To Salem, up to Spring Garden.
So we have 2 giveaways from last week.
Saying, let's go, let's
And I know the recipient, the winners must be asking, hey, what's up?
vote. Wake up everyone who's sleeping.
But I promise you, tomorrow,
Marlene's on the
we'll make sure you get it.
road.
Don't forget to like our new Facebook page.
Representation
Instagram is clapping.
to inspiration.
We are live on YouTube.
You love it.
Chaps Media.
Let's go.
Tell your
let's
friend.
go.
Tell your friend. Chaps Media on YouTube. Chaps Media on Instagram.
Wake up everyone who's
So we're connected on all platforms, right?
sleeping. Malahoo Forte on the road.
Attorney General Malahoo Forte, Marlene Malahoo Forte, we appreciate you stopping by.
Oh.
You know, we love and appreciate the work you do, right? Not just for your constituency, but for the entire Jamaica. For giving crucial, critical, and accurate advice to the leadership. We appreciate you. And we're hoping that tonight will give some clarity and a little bit of understanding to folks who might not understand the intricacy and how much you've done and what you're doing and how difficult it is to balance both. But even though it's a difficult task, you've managed to conquer.
Everyone West Central shouting.
West Central shouting.
Marlene gave us all.
O'Neill Marshall, big up yourself.
All hands in the air.
Cheryl Robinson, big up yourself.
Everyone West
So we have 185, please.
Central shouting.
Chaps Media on YouTube. Check it out.
West Central shouting.
So guys, we'll be going on the street to do a series of videos and programs,
Malahoo Forte.
most of which will be on YouTube. So ensure that you go to YouTube. The prize that we'll be giving away from last week, the week before, we had a winner for that cell phone. Last week, we would have given away or offered up a Android box, a TV box. And that's going to go to somebody from the YouTube channel. So make sure you go on over to YouTube, Chaps Media, and like it. Click that little notification bell. That means every single time that we go live, you will be there.
Oh.
Not Central Clarendon. Look out, we're coming. Robert Nesta Morgan, we're coming. Hey, 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 hey.
North Central Clarendon. We are North Central Clarendon. We are a resilient people, a people of strength, hope, talent, God-fearing and proud. Our greatest challenges are no match for our sense of community. We gain strength through our unity. Our unity gives us hope to our farmers, toiling in the morning sun, tending their fertile fields, providing sustenance to our people in these times of challenges and struggles. To our youth, excited by the promise of a greater future, motivated and innovative. To you, community members, join together with a sense of purpose. There is hope for a better future. Let us remember the struggles and triumphs of our ancestors, the resilience of our nation. No crisis can stop our spirit, and no pandemic can kill our motivation. North Central Clarinda, one leader, one government, one people. Together, better with Nesta.
One bag of gold medal pan me now. Champion boy, you know the damn thing.
Labor rights, make no mistake about it. It is us who must save this country. We have a duty to ourselves. We have a duty to our children. We have a duty to our brothers and sisters. We have a duty to the elderly to save this country from poverty. Austerity can take you so far. It is time for a break. It is time for a stimulus to truly get this economy moving. And we must take the message of Audley Shaw. We must take the message of Andrew Holness to the Jamaican people and tell them that better is coming. Tell them that prosperity is near. Tell them that the PNP is gone, gone, gone. Labor rights, wanna look good in halfway through this evening. And we're going to look even better on Thursday, February 25th.